episode of Lock Her Line Ass Up. Stefon Diggs lost endorsements, lost credibility, lost his job behind the line. First and foremost, I want to say that this woman not only committed crimes to men, but she committed crimes to women and victims all over the world. You mean to tell me that there are people out in this world that actually are victimized, that actually got shit going on, that are actually being done wrong, and you wasted a ton of taxpayers' dollars and law enforcement time because you was mad about some debt? And it just goes to show when women do not have control of their emotions and they use their emotions to justify their lack of logic. Baby, you was mad about some dick. You was the help. And he treated you like that. And just because a nigga smash and dash doesn't mean that you go and try to squeeze him for some money. This ain't the first time this happened, ladies and gentlemen. This shit happen more often than not. It's a lot of these women out here that are making accusations of men just because they mad that they didn't get back from that nigga. Why is there not a law? Why isn't there a mandate for people that wrongly accuse people to get locked the fuck up too? I bet you it wouldn't be as many Me Too's. I bet you it wouldn't be as many bullshit ass allegations if we started locking some of these motherfuckers.
Ago, your lawyer demanded $5.5 million from Mr. Diggs, didn't he?
Mr. Diggs offered me $100,000 to recant my statement.
That is a yes.
That is the
Your
only.
Honor, maybe be heard to sidebar, please. Objection, move this right.
The last part of the witness's answer, the last part of the witness's response will be stricken as non-responsive.
You know, the way he treated you when you were pregnant, the way he talked to you when you were pregnant, the way that the same people that has defended him in this know how he treated you while you were pregnant and how he was to you when you were pregnant will always be something I will never understand. The way he treated you in the delivery room, the way he treated you after the baby, the same person that abused you abused me. And our text messages show how he belittled you, how he spoke to you. I remember one particular night, and you know the night that I'm talking about.
Y'all, that chef was serving more than just food to Stefon Diggs. If y'all saw those messages, you would see that she said, "And I'm out your life." Employees don't quit that way. Situationships do. So like I said, that chef was obviously serving way more than just food to Stefon Diggs. And that's why she had all of those feelings, all those emotions up on that stand. That wasn't a victim, I would say. Maybe she was a victim in like a heartbreak, maybe. But like, that's not a crime. Him breaking your heart is not a crime. She should have just taken that $100K and went about her life instead of worrying about the fact that he was messing around with other employees. Girl, that's not your man. What are you worried about him and his many other side chicks for? That should be Cardi's problem, not yours. And no shade, if she's cool with it, you should be too, sister. Once this footage came out, I knew she was.
So the basic thing is they can always pull that card and take you down no matter how high you go. First thing you need to understand is if you're going to go into that system, just be mindful no matter what she says, no matter how comfortable she makes you think she is with you. Keep your receipts and record if that's the lifestyle you want to live. If that's where you're going, then you need to protect yourself. The reality is you should not go in that direction. Should not go in that direction. Should not go in that direction. Now, on the other end, there are a lot of black women who do the same thing nowadays that a lot of white women do. So this is the reason why I said the feminism circumstance is not equal. But there are a lot of them who do these things because they have been removed from their name, language, culture, religion, God. They don't know who the hell they are. And so they're taking on the identity of who they think is the winner. The white woman has been looked at as the winner. So they take on that mentality, those actions, those behaviors. Right now, it is a competition to see how many people can get with a man, lie on a man, sue the man, and get a paycheck. That's a new job description for a lot of women nowadays. A lot of people don't want to work, so a lot of women now have literally looked at how can I get with a man with a lot of money, make it seem as though everything that he's saying is cool, I love him, I'm comfortable with him, and then just lie on him, say he raped me, sue him, and get a lot of money. Quick come up or get a baby, because that's the old school tactic. That's 18 years of free rent, free everything, boom. It's very sick. Now, I don't like having to say this, but this is the truth. Brittany Renner said that. She outlined it very clearly. She said, well, if y'all want to just have 18 years of just free everything, get with one of these dumb athletes and get pregnant by them. This is what she said.
It's the worst people to deal with are the athletes. None of them use condoms, really. So if y'all really want to try to come up off a check off a man, I mean, you could just fuck an athlete. They're really dumb.
She said it out loud. It is a business now. The problem is if you a big black man who became successful like our brother, be careful because a lot of them are placed around you and you think that you are above the system. No, I mean, like realistically, what are you doing?
Women have no equity with black men on social media. None. Black women spend years, spend months, spend hours talking foolery about black men all day, every day on social media, especially TikTok. Because if you ask black women, how do you think black men perceive y'all based off the way that you talk about black men on social media? They will tell you straight up, we hate black men.
Fucking with y'all before the election, we're still not effing with y'all after the election.
Matter of fact, where was y'all when every quarter a black woman goes viral for disparaging black men and how they want to date white men?
I definitely fall into the stereotype of the undesirable black woman. However, none of that stops me from dating and choosing very consciously to not and never again date black men.
Black men, y'all need to do better. Y'all really need to do better. There is no reason why I should have a white man of 6'2", 220.
Let's go. Welcome to another episode of the Men's Table. I am your host, Jeff St. James from Ask a Brother Podcast. And the guys that we have on today, we have some of our usuals. Mr. Dave Anderson, the business bully himself, in the building. We have Mr. Darwin McPherson, a.k.a. Bruiser. And then we got a special guest pulling up today. I don't even know. Listen, I'm going to just say this, man. This dude has been holding it down now for quite a few years. And it was an honor to be able to find out that he was available to even join us on our respective brand new platform that we've been launching. Please, everybody that's watching currently, if you have not done so, A, make sure that you follow this brother. But then number two, please put your hands together for the real Stacy Prince. What's going on, sir? Gentlemen, welcome back to our usual panelists. And I gotta say, man, and for everybody that's currently watching, if y'all watching from YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, wherever, please, if you don't want us to miss your comments, please make sure that you hit those super chat buttons. Make sure that you subscribe to all the men that you see on the screen currently. And let's see if we can double the number of people that's concurrently watching right now. All it takes is for you to just send it to 1 or 2 people and tell them to tap in. And then before we know it, we can have twice or even 3 times as many people that's currently watching. All right, fellas. So Me Too, Stefon Diggs, the believability of victims versus women that are using this gaming the system to take advantage. What kind of came to mind for y'all when y'all saw what was happening with this case? And why do you think this is becoming such a prevalent thing of women being exposed for either a lack of evidence or evidence that points to the fact that a lot of times ladies are starting to make this stuff up? Let's start with Darwin, then we'll do Dave, and then we'll bring in Stacy.
Well, you said a lot with those questions. Cause you,
listen, you know what? I did definitely did this.
It's a long question.
So start with wherever you want to, whether it's start with wherever you want to, whether it's the case itself, the general idea of how men fall into these situations. What's coming to mind for you?
Well, what coming to my mind is we don't have any protocol. We don't have any repercussion, any consequence for false accusations. Or to take it even further, if you lose the case, if you accuse somebody and lose, because whether it's true or not, that's a whole nother story. You can still lose a case whenever you're telling the truth. We know how the justice system is.
Yeah.
But my issue is not the results of the court. My issue is what happens before the trial even starts, like the castration of the man or the person that's being accused. He lost his job. You know, he got terminated. He lost potential endorsements.
Yep.
I think that's totally unfair before you actually know whether or not what he did was true, whether it was true or whether or not he did those offenses. But for you to cut him from the team and allegedly take millions of dollars out of his pocket, I think that's totally unfair. And I think we should start targeting companies or organizations who do that. We can get into that later.
Yeah.
It should be some type of consequence for companies or some type of tax or something against organizations who cut you before they even determine the verdict.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
You know what I'm saying? Or take away your money or career or whatever. I don't like that part. I get it. You're going to go bump heads and you go fight it out in court. But the things that actually take place before the trial even starts is totally unfair. And I'll yield.
Yeah. Dave, what about you?
Good evening, gentlemen. For me, it's a simple thing. We've gotten ourselves into a place where everyone becomes reactionary. So these companies don't want to have anything associated with their brand that seems to be isolating, disrespectful, criminal, controversial. And so they start doing things from a knee-jerk reaction standpoint. And this is how you know that these systems are designed to keep our athletes, entertainers, public figures in a situation where they're perpetually dependent upon the system. Because you would think something like the NFL, because the NFL has a players association, which is their union, that they would, I don't know, come up with some type of insurance policy in case something happens with these players. But the truth of the matter is 85% of all, and I'm not reading from anything, 85% of these players wind up broke 4 years after retirement. The average player in the NFL is only doing 4 years, you know, if they're lucky. You don't get those Tom Brady level careers. This dude had millions of dollars gone, millions in endorsements gone, and nobody bothered to say anything because the chef was busy serving up thought pockets. And for me, I'm absolutely done with this. I think it means that we have to be more discretionary. And people got mad a few years ago at John Cena when he was dating Nikki Bella and she wanted to move into his house. He said, cool, guess what? Here's this paperwork this thick. You are a guest in my house. You do not have any rights. You do not have any squatters' rights. If we break up, you out. You came in with what you came in, that ass, and then you bounce. If we start protecting ourselves, even as a business coach, as an entrepreneur, I tell people all the time when they say, well, how can I trust you? Don't trust me. Trust the paperwork. When we start putting penalties, you know, because everybody, oh, we're going to have an NDA. An NDA ain't nothing, but you know what is? An enforceable financial penalty starting at $1 million, which most of these folks can't afford. When you have no risk, when you have no skin in the game, and then you get with a Gloria Allred, you get with one of these scandalous ass attorneys who just wants to make a buck. People forget Gloria Allred put up signs in New York, LA, Chicago, Philadelphia, and talking about, if you have ever had sexual contact with Bill Cosby, call my office. Everybody leaves that out of the conversation. So it is not only big business for thought pockets who have absolutely no discernible talent and want to be America's next Kardashian witch. It also becomes a situation where these lawyers are starting to cake off on it. So just like they tell Floyd Mayweather when he was boxing, protect yourself at all times. It starts with, number one, having discipline, and the number two, having the paperwork. And it ain't personal. It ain't personal. If you walk onto a Marvel set and you have a script, you have to sign saying that you're not going to leak this script. It is assigned to you when you are a courier, whatever the case may be. If you're an actor, you got to make sure that you sign this because there are penalties for that. It is the same thing when you are a high value athlete, but the agents who get their 3% are going to get their 3% off top, whether you get fired or not. They get theirs first. The NFL Players Association don't give a rat's ass. The union don't give a rat's ass. Hollywood don't give a rat's ass. So it is up to you or someone who has two connected brain cells in that 2 square feet of real estate between your ears to step up and say, you know what? I got to protect you from you and your monstrous urges that you now get because everybody's throwing themselves at you, you know? So that's where I am with it for now, man. And I'll yield to our guests at this point.
All right, Stacy, what about you?
I mean, these brothers drove home so many points, right? How I got in California is my mentor. You know, he saw some of the things I had going on in my portfolio, and he, you know, set some things in motion for me. A year after I got out here, he got hit with the Me Too movement. And it was unbelievable in the way that I think everybody knows it's unfair. Everybody knows that. So I think it got easier for me to accept what we're seeing and what we're experiencing when I came to ask myself, who are the powers that be in America? It's men, of course. Right. Yeah. And if men are allowing this to take place, then that means there's some big time profit that men are accruing behind the lines. And, when you take it that, around $35 trillion annually is spent in the world, 15 of it in America, and we know who the spenders are, women, that's the power behind this thing. So I feel like that thing is so detrimental, because there's almost no recovery from it. Marketing and branding is so powerful. I call it modern day hypnosis, because if something is campaigned about you, alleged about you for months, even after you're found not guilty, nobody can still erase the thought of you potentially being guilty from their heads. So there's still going to be some brand issues. You still suffer brand blows. And oftentimes after they're found guilty, a lot of these people still miss out on, some people didn't come back and say, hey, now that we see you were innocent, we want to get back with you. So there isn't missing out on an infinite level, like both of the brothers touched on. I think the biggest issue is there is not a system of penalties in place, right? And when there's not a system of penalties in place, if the most powerful men in America run America, but they're giving men that significant of a disadvantage to protect themselves, then it lets you know that they're benefiting from these things somehow. And like you brothers spoke about, the attorneys, that's why they make up laws where you can't ambulance chase anymore, because they had a movie where the guy was staging events. He was staging things, to be reported about, and you'll do that. It'll create incentive for, listen, an attorney can know one of his clients has been with somebody who's being sued right now, and he can nudge her in the right direction, right? Nudge her in the right direction. So I believe until men as a whole start collaborating and mobilizing the same way that women do, we will forever be susceptible to something as destructive as this here. I yield the floor.
I'm gonna say this and real quick, because I do see we have a super chat. Anybody that's currently watching, if you want us to keep these things running, and if you want us to keep inviting and getting a lot of guests on, a great way to help support is to hit the super chat button with whatever it is that your guys got to offer, whether it's $2, $5 or more. I ain't gonna stop you. But guys, please make sure you're subscribed, following, and send this to 2, 3, or 4, even 5 people. So don't forget that super chat button. So Rip City, thank you for the $5. He writes, shout out to the soccer player Achif Hakim for putting everything in his mama's name. Yeah, I've definitely heard about his particular case, and that brother's goated. And then we have the real Kevin Powell. Thank you for the $2. How to win a rigged game? Don't play it. We're definitely going to touch in on what exactly it looks like in terms of what maybe men's responses should be. And before you come in real quick, Darwin, there was somebody who put Arizi wrote, a man I was falsely accused of sexual assault in 2007, my freshman year of college. Ultimately, I was lucky to get an expensive lawyer because my father had a little money and the charges were dropped. So this is real, man. And there's varying degrees of what this whole Me Too experience is like for a lot of men now, where it goes from a woman just like making up some BS situation amongst your friends to being like, no, this is something where they spread it amongst a religious community, through a school, through a job, on social media, let alone, the potential charges that can come from it. There are so many things, and each of you have kind of tapped in on this, of what changes, what is lost the moment a man is accused of something, whether he's innocent or not. There's just so many things that he just instantly you're already assumed guilty. Your friends and family, most of which are going to take steps back. Your business partners are going to pull back. A lot of the business and networking connections, you're already treated as if you've done it, even if you haven't. And I can't remember who it was that tapped into it. Even after proof is shown, I think it was you, Dave. Even after proof is shown, it usually doesn't fix nearly as much as what was taken away and lost.
No, you don't get it back.
Yep. No. So I'm going to throw this out there, and I said it to the ladies in the last panel. I want to see what y'all think. I don't think it's realistically going to happen, but if we know that there's a random percentage of women that's using the justice system, they're functioning like the lady that got Emmett Till killed. They're weaponizing the justice system against men, especially black men, obviously for financial gain and incentives. Would a law that eliminates the possibility for civil lawsuits, where it could only be criminal lawsuits, when it comes to sexual assault or anything of that ilk, would that be the thing that fixes this issue? The reason why I pose that is because if you take out the financial incentive, yes, that means there will be actual victims who are actually harmed, and their only form of justice is whether or not he's found guilty of criminal. But she's not getting any financial benefits. But that would also weed out an overwhelming percentage of women who may be trying to game the system and are using, now that there's no financial incentive, I could envision that would stop a lot of ladies from trying to go through a criminal case, which requires a much, much higher standard of proof.
I disagree.
What you think?
I disagree. I think you got a lot of people out here, a lot of women out here that are just evil enough to know that if they just press charges, that it can destroy your career instantly before the trial start. That's enough. Even if they're not getting no money out of it, just the amount of hatred in the heart, it's not going to stop it. I mean, it's just going to say that, okay, I can't get no money out of it, but at least I can melt this man's life down to the ground. And that's the issue, man. Like, if you look at police officers, whenever they take a life, they get administrative leave. I'm talking about a whole life that can't come back.
Right.
But then we got a football player that's wearing a uniform and a helmet. He's cut. He don't get administrative leave. He don't get you're suspended. No, you gone. And then no other team is going to pick him up until the next, they're allowed to go into the free agent and sign people. And even then, nobody's going to sign him with that hanging over his head.
No.
So like, that is crazy. The fact that you can unalive somebody and keep your job, but somebody accuse you and you can lose your job. Make it make sense for me.
Damn.
That's terrible. That's what I'm saying. The issue, I get it. The trial, you find out you're innocent again, and now you want to go ahead and return a blow to make them feel it. But damn, let's focus on what's happening before that. That's the problem, bro. Because even if a woman is just lying, like you said, Jeff, even if she's just lying and she knows that if I just accuse this dude, he's getting his medals taken away, they're going to take his gold jacket away. That's all somebody got to want. They don't even have to want no money. They just want to tarnish your legacy. That's going to be on his legacy forever. He got cut for the pictures. Why? Some chick I was busting down in the kitchen, she wanted a little more money and, I ain't want to give it to her. So she accused me.
We're going to get to what the men have to do and move, how men have to move differently. Stacy, what you think?
I agree 100% with what you said. I mean, I don't know. I think if we went far enough, we could probably prove it to be factual. Like, because human beings, man, we are, our mind is usually on self-preservation, right? We try to go above and beyond the call of duty to not experience pain of any sorts and things of that nature. When you put repercussions in front of people's faces, now I definitely understand it. What Brother Darwin said, like there's going to be some what they call them stragglers, some who think they're smarter than the system, or just like he said, vindictive.
Scorched earth. Yep.
Yeah. But I believe probably 80%. I think it will knock it down around a significant percentage, because if there's even a threat, think about this. A lot of people don't know this, and it's very unfortunate because a lot of blacks suffer from it. When you don't see a black person on the stand at his own trial testifying, it's because there's a law in place to where, let's say you've done anything similar to that in your past. The moment you take the stand, it opens the floor up. Now the prosecution can bring up anything from your past. Yep. So look at how many brothers do not take that stand. You hardly ever see it. Right. Yeah. And I think if women had that same things, a system set up in line to where there's repercussions, let alone if we're talking about jail time, if there's repercussions, at the bare minimum, it would be a significant level of a deterrent. But I do agree with what brother said too. Like there's going to be some who try it, but I don't think it's going to be many.
I have a feeling it will never eliminate it. But and Darwin's right that there's definitely those who have scorched earth. But this idea that a lot of women aren't literally going at it strictly for the financial gain, that's it. where it's like I think that if we had again, I don't see it happening, but I do see a dramatic shift of a lot less women going to these lengths to go through all of these legal battles for something they can't even prove on the other side. There's those that's like, I hate him so much and I'm going to do this. There's others that's like, I just see him like a trick. I just see him like a dude I could come up on, you know, and they're not even going to go that deep in the weeds. And real quick, Dave, I want you to tap in real quick. Jutlid Group, thank you for the $50. Ladies, please understand, once fairness and honesty have been stripped out of the social order, social trust collapses. Once trust collapses, society disintegrates. No one trusts you now. That is why you're cooked, Vancouver guy.
Absolutely. Shout out to Vancouver. What's his
Yes,
name? Just Land Group.
Yeah, Just Land Group. And then Lena, hey, what's going on, homie? Jersey folk in the building. Thank you for the $4.99, just showing support, fellas. And then the real Kevin Powell, again, for $2, only in a gynocentric and misandrous society. Yeah, and we can throw out all the legal consequences and jargon of, you know, all these things and policies that we actually would wish could happen or should exist, like the what is it, the false accuser registry list and all of the stuff. My view has been, man, if things have gotten to the point that they've gotten to, it's because the people who are benefiting from it doesn't want it to change. And that if it was ever put up on the docket, I think we'd be foolish enough to think that there would be enough women and men foolish enough to actually reverse any of the things that would make things more fair and equitable, and it would cost women anything. I don't see that happening. Not in my lifetime. I really don't. So I'm going to warn the ladies, not every man is going to sit around like Stefon Diggs and Johnny Depp and Jonathan Majors and wait for the proceedings to be what they be. Some men are going to handle this on their own hands. Some men are not. If I already know that's the game you playing and I know what you're about to do to me, I'd rather take my fate into my own hands than leave it up to you and a jury and a judge. Some men, ladies, you're going to increase the chances of finding those types of men if y'all keep playing this game. And as far as the false accuser registry list, ladies, you keep assuming when men keep bringing these issues up and we're saying this stuff is not fair and it needs to change, I think you all are thinking that men wouldn't do something about it regardless of what the law says. Y'all don't know that men can create a T-app and start doing a version of that shows women who have been shown in court documents and through criminal records, if they've been shown to have a documented history of lying on men,
man, that shit got taken down immediately.
And guess what? The problem is if too many men start realizing, y'all not changing it legally, we're going to start going underground with it. We're going to start popping this stuff up left and right. Ladies, I don't think y'all want men to just completely take this into their own hands.
What does that mean, Jeff?
What it means is men are going to start to Joe Jackson gonna make a return is what I'm saying. And what I mean,
Ike Turner?
I'm sorry, both.
All of them.
All of them. Anybody from the 60s, right? And on one end, guys are going to start to, because they're now seeing what's the social cost, even when he's proven right on the other end of it. So I'm warning ladies, I think guys are going to start to handle it on their own, or they may start to get creative with circumventing the law and popping this stuff up. And if in the more money and the more clout and the more status a guy has, he could do background checks on people. So this is just increasing more and more men to start realizing that may be the move. Dave, and then we're going to circle back into it.
Yeah, to me, I think it's never going to happen. And the reason it's never going to happen is you've got people like Attorney Busby out there. You've got family business built off of 2 generations with Gloria Allred and her daughter, Lisa Bloom, making money off of it. You know, when you look at how they shook down Shaq and got a bag, You know, it's not going to happen. Now, the one thing that I wish would happen is when you have these situations like with the Cosby, where you're going all the way back 50 years and every slack-jawed, pale-faced, blue veiny North American people of Walmart big back is running around here talking about Bill Cosby touched me. That type of stuff doesn't play. We're 60 years later. Like all that goes out the window, you know, because there's
hold on. Let's start with them damn sound effects. Why the hell you make them sound effects for them women, bro?
What sound effects? I was
no. Please, what's happened? You don't understand my pain, and he touched me. He touched me in such a way, and then he did horrible things with the pudding pop.
No, let me explain something to you. There was a bit by Chris Rock where he famously said, if Clarence Thomas looked like Denzel Washington, wouldn't be no such thing as sexual harassment. We got to start calling balls and strikes here, because if you like the attention, it's good money. If you don't, now it's a problem. But the other part of that is this has become an industry where there's too many people making money. The bar is making money. The courts are making money. The judges are making money. Harvey Levin is making money. All of the networks are making money, right? So why in the world would they stop this hustle when they don't have any financial replacement? My contention is registry is cool. It don't go far enough for me.
Okay.
I want to be able to sue these raggedy muling quims back to the Stone Age and make an example of them. Not only that, is when they get found responsible financially, and if they can't pay it, it goes generationally. The same way Michael Jackson's kids are making money off the #2, who used to be #1 movie in America, the same way that your children and your children's children got to pay this debt. The same way the Goldman family came after the juice and started melting down Heisman trophies and whatnot. When you start hitting them in the pockets and you start shaming them like the last episode of Game of Thrones, shame. Or as my good friend Stacy Prince, back to the streets with you.
You know
Listen.
You know what though?
You're welcome.
It's the community thing, man. If you think about it, it exposes that we need to start taking care of our own. If we're gonna call ourselves a black community, and I guess this is to Jeff's point earlier, we got to start taking care of our own. If you look at the Italians, the mafia, you never seen a guy from the mafia on trial unless it's a RICO.
Yep.
You'll never see them getting accused of assault. You know why?
Because it's consequences if you go against the family.
What you gonna say? What
they have their interventions?
Snitching?
What are you saying? They got their interventions.
You never see Asians, Asian dude in courtroom.
Ever.
Somebody saying he essayed or no. Chinatown gonna take care of you. You know what I'm saying? They take care of their own.
Jimmy, you did it.
Yeah. So
smacking you with a cane.
So I think that we need to go back. I personally think we need to go back to policing our own people. You know what I'm saying? If somebody did do something wrong, you know, you have a team of guys in there that's going to take care of that, and you don't have to use the system, because those guys are going to find out if it was true or not, and it ain't got to do no exploitation, no money, no lick, none of that. And that's going to silence a lot of people. But unfortunately, a lot of athletes and stuff, they selfish with their money. Some of them don't know how to properly insulate themselves with protection. You'll never. I mean, we done heard a lot of stuff about LeBron, but nothing really hit and stuck, right? He's too protected. These guys, this dude's spending. I heard he spent $1 million or something on his body just rehabbing. Like, you think you think it's something gonna come up about Bron? Nah. So I think a lot of these athletes got to do the right thing with their money and get some muscle around them.
Listen, man. Again, it's true, and it's a lot harder for what you're saying, what the consequence should be when it involves a woman. Because this isn't two guys that's like, oh, we got a dispute or we got some. It involves a woman who's making an accusation. And if she's turned out to be lying, what is the community intervention?
Oh,
and we know the DAs and the legal system, they don't even take these cases. Because they don't want to deter women from speaking up. So a lot of what I agree. I would love to see a lot of this stuff happen on the legal front. I don't believe it. I don't see it happening, and I don't see enough. When you look at the amount of women that speak up and jump up every time a man gets accused, especially a black man gets accused of something, and the damn near radio silence. Once the case comes out and more information comes out and he's acquitted or proven not guilty, they almost universally the same. They're never covering it. They don't care. They're going.
They don't cover the results.
Yeah. So my argument is, take that same group and then put politics in it. They have no motivation to support anyone that they think would be in a position to put these type of things or changes into effect. So that's why I'm worried that I think men in mass and individually are going to start to handle this on their own, for good or bad.
They ain't gonna have no choice.
Yeah. Stacy, what you think?
I think the brother Darwin, he hit on something. Like I've actually drafted something up, and I think I don't want to go too deep into this because me and you spoke, Jeff, about the big picture of things, and a lot of that need not be said. You know what I mean? But to get close as possible, as a deterrent, not even just a deterrent, a penal situation. One thing that I've noticed about women, particularly black women, they will mobilize. It doesn't matter. Most of the things that they mobilize behind to us is like, why did you do that? Right? Black men, particularly, and I'm just going to say it, African-American culture is the most popular, it is the most exciting, and it is the most trending culture in the world, right? If we had our own environment, if we had the late great Kevin Samuels used to say this, we are not in control of our image, we need our own social media and things like that. If we had something, a system, something that we believed in, something that we loved, something that we all stood for, it would be a scenario to where people who behave like this, people who do things that put a blemish on the black image, they could be penalized. They could be penalized in the form of having to be now the cool kids who have to stand outside of the cool kids party, right? And that's what we need. We have no structure. We have no foundation. We have nothing, no leverage to threaten even the women that they won't be able to partake in with us, that they won't be able to be a part of with us if they conduct this and that type of behavior. If we really were structured the way we need to be, we could have not only women, but men also terrified to have our own panel make judgments against them based on their social media, what their social media is like, how are you representing the black community, things like this, because shunning needs to start taking place again. We need shunning to start taking place. We need to ostracize people, because what we're talking about right now, brothers, it's not small. People's lives get ruined. And let's don't talk about when this thing goes criminal. We're hearing about all of these athletes, man, doing 14 years. And after 14 years, it doesn't matter if you got found guilty. Man, listen, you're 35 years old now. You way past going back and trying to get that scholarship. It's over with for that. You at this point, you need to be figuring out what nursing home you're going to go to, right? So an entire life can be wiped out and a person has to pick up where they left off. So I believe that if we had our own system in place, something that African Americans were proud to be a part of, proud to be connected to, there would be the threat of you'll be disassociated with this thing if you participate in certain types of behavior. And I think that that's probably the only deterrent and penal system that we need to be looking into is our unification.
I think a good consequence. I think us four can be very creative enough to come with a consequence. Let's just start with black women, since black women we kind of closely deal with. What is one thing that you know that black women will not give up to save their life? If as a consequence is that you would take it away if there was a false accusation?
Accountability. Oh wait, no, sorry.
Attention.
I was thinking more like
social media.
I was thinking about banning them from hair salons.
Oh my God. You know how busted a lot of these sisters would be without a bust down? You can't get no retwists. You can't get no button wavy, no finger waves, no pressing curls, no nothing. You just gonna lock up all the flat irons. minutes.
That is crazy work. Real quick, man. Dr. Vince is in the building. Appreciate you, sir, for the $9.99. I have faith it will change. However, tonight I'm leaving for the Philippines to propose to a woman that said her goal in life is to be a good wife. I am out. Congrats to that good brother. We wish you adieu, and hopefully everything goes well with that. Don't
bring her back over here.
Crazy flex, first of all, for him to even say something like that. He's been wanting to be able to have a reason to post that somewhere. That's crazy.
Don't bring her back to the States.
I just want to check in with him in 6 months when he's got to bring the whole village back with him.
Because it come with the territory. What was the rapper name? Jeezy. Ask about it. Ask about it.
Jeannie Mike, I hate you so much right now.
Big Jocka ATL. Thank you for the $10. I just dealt with a FA at work 2 weeks ago. It was found to be unsubstantiated because she couldn't write a statement or do an interview. Talked to a lawyer, and the most they said I could get was $5K.
Oh wow! So
Jesus,
do you got to go back to work and walk past her?
It's the stuff we talk
past
about,
the call.
man.
Like
This
that's crazy.
And you know what it is, man? It's the social cost. And that's the other thing. We know that women are taking advantage of this loophole because we never want to create a system or environment where actual victims literally can't speak up, can't get justice, can't get heard. So they're weaponizing the innocence of actual victims and using that as leverage to get back at men, to extort men. And what's wild is like, I've been thinking about this for a little bit. We're going to jump into, even the actual psychology of why women think this to the degree that they do and why they never view. Basically, it's like they'll say men ain't ish, men are dogs, men are all predators. And then when you ask them about the men in their actual everyday lives, they'll say, well, not him. not my brother. Not my this, not my that. And wondering why it is that they can use the language that dehumanizes men in general, but in their head, they say, well, not my guys. But every woman has those group of men in her life that she thinks is fine. Mm-hmm. But you all are saying all the men are predators. Something's going on, man. So let me go ahead and play that real quick. And let's see him react to that.
To the whole believe all women thing. Unless the guy comes out and confesses that he did whatever is alleged to have been done, I'm assuming most men are going to say, I did not do that. Mm-hmm. So if we say believe all women, that smuggles in disbelieve men.
And it can mean that we have situations where people lie on it, and that's terrible. But it's
as a call taker, it happens a lot.
There should
Women
be
blame men for things that men never did to them, but he ghosted me, he dumped me. I've encountered way more false accusations than I have it's a real call.
Really? Mm-hmm. How long have you been doing?
I dispatched for about 15 years.
But so for that 15 years that you were a 911 operator, you're saying that the majority of the calls you got where a woman was alleging that she had been
in calls where women alleged they were assaulted, there were more of the false calls than the real calls. Yeah.
So if your I got groomed story contains any sort of but I lied about my age, I'm not so sure you're gonna garner my sympathy, girly or boy, right? Because you lied about your age and then got groomed after they thought you were an adult. Sounds like the responsibility on this one is actually on you, which people don't like to say in these situations, obviously, but it kind of can't really be on the other person who was deceived. So I'm sorry, but you're not the victim here. I mean, they're not exactly either, sort of, maybe a little bit, but please, I don't want to hear any I was verbally essayed or groomed or somebody took advantage of me or online. If somebody assumes you are an adult because you say so, and then they proceed to do or try to do adult things with you, that seems like the consequences of your actions, or perhaps your parents' actions if they're that young. But either way, I don't want to hear you presenting yourself as some kind of internet victim.
Calling your brothers and your cousins for every little fault. That's your fault. You can't sit back and say it's not your fault because they went too far. You shouldn't have called them.
Man, that's deep.
Fellas,
Did somebody call their brothers up on their ex-boyfriend or something like that, and all of her brothers got killed?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That was recent.
Damn.
That was yeah. They might have been twins potentially too, but they were brothers for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And 3 different perspectives of looking at it from the lens of women not understanding when they're clinging to an ideology. That's this that we just talked a week ago about black men being described, straight black men being described as cancer. And remember with Emmett Till, when we had this very visceral reaction of a woman weaponizing her femininity and her not being a man against Emmett Till, who was a boy, and his body being treated and discarded and treated that way, that was a form of racial violence, white supremacy. And we see women today that look like us doing the same thing.
Yes.
So
because the system always protects them.
Yeah, go ahead, Dave. Go ahead.
No, the system always protects them. Like when I hear a lot of we're not protected, that's funny because the second y'all call, all I hear KRS-One, whoop, whoop, that's the sound of the police. The cops got you. The DA got you. If you go into prison and they find out that you did something along those lines, Bubba got you. So I'm trying to understand where you're not being protected. If you do it at work, HR has you. If you do it and you are a public figure, TMZ has you. So who's not protecting you? The people who really need protection are the people who are out here catching bad ones. Tupac didn't even hit and wound up getting charged with grape. And what he say? It's a lot of real G's doing time because a groupie bent the truth and told a lie. Y'all got mad at the president when the president said, when you're famous, you can do anything. You can even just go in there, you can just grab them in the... And as a person that spent 3 decades in the entertainment industry, I have seen some things. And all that decorum go out the window. All of that hardcore, I'm a strong independent goes out the window when somebody who went platinum a few times shows up, or somebody that won a couple of championships, or at least went to the playoffs, pulls up in the club. So who needs to be protected? There needs to be serious classes. I applaud Deion Sanders for bringing Brittany Werner in. It was like, listen, we're going to give you the queen of all thoughts, who's going to break down her royal decrees as to what you should not do so that you don't wind up getting with a predator like her. It's like when they allowed Peter Gunz to host cheaters. Who better? Peter Gunz is a notorious cheater. It only makes sense that he would host the show because he knows what to look for. But what do I know? What do I know?
What about you, Stacy?
Listen, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I wouldn't say it I wouldn't even speak it out publicly if it was true up here. Man, with this thing, man, I've been hit probably about 15 times, 20 times, right?
Damn.
And listen, during COVID in LA, they weren't playing. Like, you really don't get caught on the street, seriously. So I saw my neighbor, he kept going out. And I'm like, how you getting out? He said, I do Uber, man, and da-da-da. And I'm like, oh, yeah. And, so he turned me on to it. Listen, I'm all over California. What I noticed, man, a woman left her keys in my car. And I had to drive an hour back. I said, I'm not driving back. And she said, if you do, I'll give you $50. I drove back, right? And I gave her the keys and she turned around and she walked off, right? Immediately after, I got flagged for inappropriate conduct towards a woman, right? I knew what it was, though. I knew what it was because this is the go-to. This is a weapon in America. It is a weapon. And even as, let's say that I was the type who actually needed Uber money to survive, my life would have been jacked up, right? So I think they think there are levels to telling that lie right there. Some might say, how many of them have said, well, it's just Uber, he ain't gonna go to jail, and you hit somebody, right? I was trying to look up for you guys. I couldn't find the statistics on it, but I was trying to look up what the percentage of people associated with ride sharing have been hit with those accusations and things like that. Listen, bro, when I tell you, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. In my life, I've never really had to advance women. it just works easy, right? It just works easy. Maybe it's the height. I don't know what it is, right? For me, somebody like me, I've never met.
Flex, but we're gonna continue. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead, subtle flex.
No, I'm just saying, man, for real. Like, so for me, you know, there was a woman jumped in my car one time. She had, her body was burnt up at 80%. 80% of her body was burnt up, and she was, whoa, you know, and I'm like, you're still a beautiful woman, da da da. Bro, don't you know, when she got out that car, I got one of those alerts on my phone about advancing inappropriate behavior. So I think it's become so common.
Damn.
It's nothing. It's nothing. It's how I feel right now. How was my day? Maybe I got a crappy day from, however, this bit of power right here, to be able to flex something like that, I think some people could get overly irresponsible with that and start doing it fluently, man. So I think we're up against things like that. And what I do know is there has to be some type of safety protocol put in place, because again, what if my income really did depend up on rideshare? I thought about that before too. Like, I'd be hit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Nah, I appreciate that, because even when it comes to what's the thing that needs to be put into place, there's the crowd that wants to focus on the legal route, the reforming the courts, changing the justice system. I think we can reduce, you can't, no method is perfect, but I think we have to start with self as men. When it comes to Me Too, there's often a pattern, especially when it comes to guys that have something or worth something. The greater the body count, the more likely it is for something like that to happen.
I'll go for that.
Don't know what the correlation is. Can't put the mathematics behind it. But I want guys to start imagine, like, the flex through all of eternity was always, how many women can you get access to? The new flex now in the era of Me Too is, what's the high caliber quality of women that you can get and build and main and hold on to, so you're not perpetually putting yourself out here at the risk of each new woman, each new potential new Me Too moment. Because the idea of, oh, I got a body count of 400 women, I got a body count of 800 women, body count of 1,200 women, then become that guy, then turn into something, and think about what keeps you up at night. The ladies you ghosted, the women who things just didn't work out with, the ones that are super jealous, the ones you cheated on. I think the days of, you know, guys trying to ignore this stuff, we got to start talking to young boys and sons and nephews earlier about NDAs. I know, Dave, you know, have your contention about that, but about additional paperwork. My argument is, if you start with talking about an NDA, a prenup, and a mandatory paternity test, if you start talking about those three things very early with women, I think they're actually going to weed themselves out. I think a lot of the women that wouldn't be open to signing those things are probably the same types of women that would be in these types of cases.
I could go for
That's
that.
just a thought, that the women that are truly for you are going to do everything in their power to show you that they're invested and they want to be a part of this and build with you. And the women that have that inkling in them, the idea that they're going to keep signing away 2-3 forms of leverage, I don't see them doing that. So that is, to me, a beginning step of, we need to be more discerning as men and recognizing, like, it's not about if it's 1 woman or 2 women or 3 women. I think it's about when you can't filter and can't screen because every so often it's somebody totally different, you're bound to get a psycho. You're bound to get a woman who's capable of doing this. You're bound to. Now, whether she does that to you or the next guy that came after you. So I think we as men got to start to be much more conscientious about putting things on the front end to set a standard of, I got to start eliminating women. You got to stop looking at women through the lens of always being hyped. Grown men are still looking at these situations through the lens as teenagers. Millionaire men are still chasing OnlyFans women. Millionaire men with $100 million deals are still chasing and effing around with random OnlyFans chicks. So those would be some of the suggestions I could think of. Let's start with Dave and then Darwin and Prince. Dave, what you thinking?
Oh man, I think one of the main things that we should do immediately is make sure that there is a net worth equalization. So I can't mess with you if you don't have at least half of my net worth. Like if we start doing that, then it becomes a situation. Like you don't hear no complaints out of ASAP Rocky's house. I'm just saying, you know, I don't know when these other folks go out here, but my whole thing is you have to get yourself to a point that the things that used to make sense or were fun just don't hold up, right? Nobody wants to be the old man in the club. That's ridiculous. You ever see the dude in the club? He pop out, but he got the fresh Sergio Tacchini on or the polo sweatsuit. He got the brand new Air Forces.
Oh, when Darwin's out. Yeah, when Darwin's out. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. But aside from that, when Darwin's allowed out, he's just happy to get a break. That's all that is. That's a completely different thing. I'm talking about the dude who's literally just out there, strolling for cooch. Like, nah, we got to stop that, right? And then again, shame your ass out. You know what I'm saying? Like, go shame your ass out. See, that's why I respect Ronald Osley. Ronald Osley found himself a young tender and he settled down. La, da, 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 da. That's what you do. But when you out there trying to mess with somebody that's younger than your own daughter, like, I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just saying that's just a high risk type. Like, there has to be some type of risk assessment strategy that we have with these brothers. And we got to get to a point where we can mentor the ones that want to listen and the ones who don't listen. We shame them and lead them to it.
Man, I'm gonna tell you this: guys that have very volatile situations with women in their relationship, cops always being called and stuff, don't even do life with them. I don't do it with them. I don't do couples things with them. I fall back. Dudes that are constantly involved in situations like this, I actually start to remove myself because her issue is your issue and y'all issue will become my issue if I'm present. So what happens if she accuses you of something and I was a quote unquote witness? And now if I don't give the version that she likes, how does she weaponize her female status with her men in her life who's saying he lied on me? What's coming my way? So this is the stuff that I want men to start to think about this stuff a little bit differently is having them the highest body count you could imagine. That was the old flex. We don't even know if that really led to a lot of positive outcomes for a lot of guys. This is the current move. It is. If you're not smart and you still looking at this like a teenager and you 44 years old, you're gonna have a teenage mindset when it comes to being that Pikachu face when they start making these accusations on you. They could do it in the workplace, they could do it in the Lyft or Uber, they could do it in an elevator. You guys got to start to be smarter about the types of caliber of women that you're actually choosing to mess around with or even do life with, because it absolutely can come back to bite you. And the worst part is what Darwin said: it doesn't have to be proven. You just have to be accused. Darwin, what you think?
I don't think we should be scaling back, busting these chicks down. I think we should bust all their ass down, slut them all out. The issue is you need to leverage. We need to add something to the leverage. We already know we got the charisma, we got the resources and all that stuff. We need to add that if your ass is a broke woman, then everything we do getting recorded. I ain't never seen Mr. Marcus or any of those guys on Pornhub get hit with a false accusation that he essayed. Byron Long, what is them dudes?
Why you know more than I do, apparently. You know all their names.
Listen, I'm just saying. I ain't never.
Can you imagine the amount of lotion and tissue and VIP best repairs Darwin has had in his lifetime. He's just running down a roster like he's the Stephen A. Smith of Cornhole.
You were
Let me again. Mr. Marcus ain't never had no lawsuit and long dong kong bong. Like, wait,
but hear me out though. You never seen none of them come up on no
I've never seen none of them anywhere, bro.
Why? Because everything has been recorded.
Because I don't know these people.
Listen, bro. Come on, Dave. The decorum is you either get you a pair of Ray-Bans or you get you one of them little cheap cameras from Walmart for about $500, a DSLR that you can set up on a tripod, record it all. If they can't put no skin in the game, they got to put themselves on the footage. But I'm not finna listen. I'm not finna tell the guy that's a king, that's living like a king, that got options, that he need to limit his options because these motherfuckers want to act like they want to put you under the damn jail cell. No, put them bitches. Excuse me.
Gotta be smarter.
Put them women on the what they call it, an SD card, and
now,
put a piece of white tape on it and put their name on it and put it inside of a cabinet or something. So
like
somebody
Dexter.
Yep. Now somebody said in the last live that guys that's dealing with rotations of women in and out of their vehicles, you got to have a running dashboard. You got to have a camera in the car. The days of moving like that, especially with not a regular woman, just for business or for pleasure, it makes too much sense for you to not have that in place. That makes so much sense to me. And then especially I think the common areas is a great starting point for your home or property that you may have. Definitely have it in the common areas. It's always going to be sticky when it comes to in the bedrooms and in the private places, because if it's not set up in a way where the person's making it known that they're aware that they're being recorded during those intimate moments, that can result in some very, very serious issues where it might not even be allowed permissible in court. So, and there may be some legal consequences of recording that. So just be on the safe side. You may have to work with a lawyer to kind of find out to the degree of where you're able to allow cameras to be in your property. What's that say?
I consent. You can't see it, but listen, start taking a picture before you bust them down. Mm-hmm. Have them hold up like how you going to jail. You hold it up in your inmate number or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I consent to keep that in the picture. That's too easy, bro. Listen, we ain't got to record you nude.
Shorty gonna say she can't read.
Yeah, but she gonna say she was under duress.
She gonna say I was drunk. I was drunk. I was
go moving the damn goalpost.
Hold on. Stacy, come on over here. What you think, bro? Go ahead, Stacy.
The crazy part is so I live my life a certain way, right? It's a lot of things go easy for me because of how I live my life. I probably don't date traditionally, right? And I expect my name is not even big enough like that, but people be recognizing me, right? So when I'm dating and a woman approaches me, antennas are already up, right? I'm thinking a lot of these people, they like, no, YouTubers be making $80,000, $100,000 a month. They have these things in their head, right? Mm-hmm. So my antennas are already up. Now, the way that I date, I've dated like this, I don't know, probably most of my life. I don't know how to call it without it being, it's not weird, right? I'm like the black version of 50 Shades of Grey minus all of the contraptions. Like what?
Hold up. First of all, this show is completely taking a different turn that I was not expecting. First, Darwin, now our guest.
Like 20 times.
I'm not talking about the weirdness. I'm talking about
you got a red room, don't you, Stacy? You got whips and chains, don't you, Stacy?
Nah, that is the room. That's the room right there.
That's it right there. Don't turn the camera around, Stacy. Don't turn the camera around.
Listen, on some serious stuff. Like with me, I know that I'm not finna get married right now, right? I know what I'm chasing. So that there is an amount of time that I know getting serious about a relationship is off the table for me, right? So it's really easy for me. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I do companionships, and I don't even advise men who are inside of their purpose. I don't advise men to deal with multiple women at once. When I say companionship, this woman lightweight belongs to me, right? That's how, you know, and listen, I've even had 2 signed NDAs with me all the way to the extent of doing admin work from business. You know what I mean? And I'm bringing that
I
up.
thought he was going to say something else.
I mean, listen, no, we did have that type of relationship, physical relationship, but I said that to say this. I find it a lot less difficult when you have a strong type of relationship with the individual. And I'm not crazy. If she is messing around with the women I deal with, it's probably if she's messing around, she's probably sneaking off with one guy. So I don't care. I'm using you the same way that you're using me. What I advise people to do is get inside of a companionship. I've done a show called The Best Dating Deal. Make a dating deal with the woman, right? Let her know me and you have been doing our thing for, you know, however long. Of course, we know it's not like blah, 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 but I'm inside of my purpose right now. I'm really close to this, and that. And in order for men to pull off significant feats, we can't be dating her. We can't be over here calling her on the phone for an hour. We can't be taking this one out. It pulls away from whatever you're trying to build. So I let women know, you know what I mean? And I dig you this certain type of way, you know what I mean? What I need in a woman right now, I can't be dating a lot of women. What I need in a woman right now is when it's time for me to talk on the phone, it's you I'm talking to. When it's time to take somebody out to eat and take a break, it's you that I'm doing those things with. And I found more often than not, when women hear a man talk like this, I think it's outside of what they're used to, and it gives them a feeling of wanting to be a part of whatever it is that you're building. I don't really have a lot of those issues, man. I don't have a lot of those issues because this thing that I'm doing and allowing her to be, you know, a sense of my relief and my companionship while I'm building this thing, I've never had a bad situation at that. So I advise people to make a dating deal with the woman, even if there's a monetary component associated with it. If you be here with me throughout this time that I'm building this thing, if you be everything to me that I need, that men typically need from women for extensive periods of time, when this thing does happen, when I do pop this thing off, I remember you said you were thinking about starting that that weave store or whatever it was you were starting. I'm going to that was a bad example, right? But I'm
especially in Darwin's world, he ain't gonna let them have no weaves.
I just tell him I'm going to be there for you in some of those times. You know what I mean? I'm going to lend some of the resources that I've gained.
Stacy talked so much shit about black women. The only thing he could bring up is
that was crazy work. That was crazy work, right? But I do advise people to do that. Like, you know what I mean? Listen, if we're going to be honest, all of this stuff that's going on today is prostitution. Let's be open about it. I'm going to let you know what I'm going to benefit to your life, and here's what I need you to be to my life. And I've not had no troubles from those type of circumstances.
Yeah,
Who the hell in the chat said, do we not like our mothers? Like, come on, like what the
Hold on, think about what he said. He's starting with honesty up front about what he does and doesn't want. And I think, again, there's no one-size-fits-all approach that's going to completely eliminate all problems. But I do think most men, especially men that are ambitious and got a lot going on, actually want Stacy's dynamic. They want that arrangement. Not all men are being moving that way when it comes to how they're engaging with these women. First of all, if she keeps thinking more is coming and you're not, you know, you're presenting it as if it is and then it isn't, or you've changed your perspective and you haven't been honest about how you're seeing things, I can see how these situations go so far left. A lot of these situations ain't popping off because all these dudes were so honest with these ladies either. All right, so we got to keep it 100. Like, it's not just as simple as every guy that's all these women that's going from 0 to 100, flipping a script, doing these crazy allegations and accusations just because it's a Tuesday. Sometimes when we look at the text messages, look at the court transcripts, it turns out there's a lot more complicated. There's a lot more messy. And brothers are doing and saying things and entertaining women that had a lot of red flags to begin with. And ignoring that piece because I'm now a man that can just have access to it, it can come back to bite you because can't no NDA stop none of this. When an accusation gets gets put out there, that's protected speech. So NDA doesn't cover a potential crime.
Well, we forgot about something, Jeff. We forgot about something.
What?
See, a lot of these guys that's getting caught up in this, is they ain't paying for the ads. So think about it. The NDA ain't gonna do nothing.
Yeah.
But imagine if you had an invoice that said, suck it.
No.
Give me some head.
No. This he got locked up for? Are you crazy?
No.
You out here.
Hold on. If you got an invoice that said lip service.
Oh my God.
No. This is not
that means she that means it wasn't no
gentlemen.
essay. That means she could agree to the exchange.
No, okay. Let me spell it out. You know how
he's not a clinician, Jeff. You don't get it,
bro. You know how they're getting these dudes on interstate human sex trafficking because they're leaving breadcrumbs that's making it look like this was for this. So outside of like the actual non-sexual related stuff you can pay her for and compensate her for, which would be on the paperwork. If you needed to put paperwork down, that would just be a given between y'all. That would be an understanding, if that makes sense. You wouldn't put down the specific things that can get your butt in court. And now I'm telling you, that's a
She can't
real
do
bad.
nothing. Somebody else would have to pick that up.
No, you cannot put down anything on paper. That
We can't put intimacy down on paper.
Brother, ask any lawyer. See if I'm lying.
You ain't never heard of Heidi Fleiss?
I'm gonna have to talk to TLA about this one.
Yeah. Go ahead. Dude, listen, ask any lawyer. If you can put down sexual acts that you're willing
we don't got to spell an act. So like if I give if I give a girl a contract and she sign it, okay, from Monday to Saturday, we're gonna participate in girlfriend, boyfriend activities, whatever that may be. That should put me in a clear.
That's probably
it would, but unfortunately, the reason that does not work is because you have not defined what the scope of boyfriend girlfriend activities. That's such a subjective term. I could take that into any.
If I'm talking to a jury,
any first year law student can rip that to shreds, bro.
Nah.
Because you can say boy, like. All right, I'll give you an example. I have an 11-year-old. I have a 26-year-old. If my 11-year-old has a little boyfriend, then they're going to Chuck E. Cheese or they're going to Dairy Queen. That's boyfriend girlfriend activities. Now, my 26-year-old, her boyfriend lives in New York. He tends bar. He's a creative type of dude. Her girlfriend boyfriend activities, I guarantee you, are not going to Dairy Queen. You understand? So that there's a wide scope there. So anybody could argue that what is boyfriend girlfriend activities to you is not to her, and that you forced her into doing certain things, and then that contract is shreds.
Yeah.
So and that's the problem. Then we need to be able to monetize some sex.
So
live in Vegas.
Hold on now, because somebody threw that out to me recently when I was in Vegas actually last week. And they said that a lot of crime and a lot of this stuff would actually decrease if prostitution was legalized. Do y'all think that would impact? Because if it was actually truly regulated, and these women or people who engage in this stuff have to get tested every month, like the people who engage in it regularly. They have to have a certain like a license that shows that they're active, and they have to report any incidents that pop up that's connected to them with law enforcement of any kind. When you type their information in on a database, you see, oh, this person got 5 911 calls. That I could see that potentially decreasing a lot of the action because now it's more standardized and accepted in society, and now we have actual rules like Darwin's talking about. Versus each man's trying to figure out what this looks like on himself and hopefully not making any legal mistakes or pitfalls. And real quick, man, shout out to everybody that's currently still watching. If you guys haven't done so, and if you still plan to do so in the next 5 to 10 minutes before we wrap things up, please feel free to hit the super chat. Thank you to Eric Alexander 1992 for the 1999. He says, they say before a man levels up, he has to face the final boss, and that's lust. Jeff, could you possibly do a video on how we must practice what you said pre-nut clarity? Yeah, I think a lot of guys are waiting for post-nut clarity to make wiser decisions when it comes to the quality of women that can increase our chances for potentially being quote unquote Me Too. There are women you guys have come across where you know this is never going to be an issue. You know it. And there's absolutely women that you know if things went south, it's a possibility, a strong possibility. And then you got the women in the middle. Pre-nut clarity is recognizing that there may be women who you're embarrassed to be seen out in public with, that you know you can't take to any company outings, that you know you wouldn't want by yourself.
I don't need that. I don't need pre-nut clarity to see that.
No. All I'm saying is, but again, when you know, while I'm just trying to get a nut, none of those things matter.
The kind you don't bring home to mother.
Right?
If I had pre-nut clarity, I would. A lot of the bodies I got, I would have never. No, bro.
So I'm warning now. Hey, because I agree.
I probably had like 3 bodies in my whole life with pre-nut clarity, man.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is we're still trying to normalize men who have the ability to access 1 million women to say, just do it smartly. What I'm arguing is there is no way to do that smartly. You can't sleep with 500 women smartly. You can't. You can't. And unless you got the money like Leonardo DiCaprio to swap them out every time they turn 25, most men, that's not the reality for.
Why not?
Listen, for most,
because you ain't got the resources.
You ain't got the resources.
What? Bruh, we swapping out these women without. We got Pookie out here and ain't got no resources and swapping them out in a black community.
Pookie's operating with another resource.
Yeah, and this the crazy part. I ain't gonna answer that. But with the child, and again, what I'm arguing for is I just think that it's not that guys can't exercise options. I think we have to be more. I think we have to look for reasons to disqualify women now. That's what I'm basically saying. I think the days of she has a vagina, she looks good, and she's consenting is a bar that only high schoolers are even should be thinking that. I think
but what is she qualifying for?
Men that have things to lose, you gonna have to. If you don't know what could disqualify a woman, brother, I can't help you.
No, I'm saying like some women. If a woman got a vagina,
yeah,
she qualifies for a bust down. That's it. There's levels to qualification.
This is my point. And again,
why does everybody got to qualify for a long-term relationship? Why can't they just qualify for temporary relationships?
It's not even that. It's about what you have to lose.
Okay,
I get it.
All right. How about this? Brittany Renner. We've seen her all over. We've seen the methods she goes through. We've seen the things that she said about athletes and how she moves. Would a wise man that has something to lose, he had the opportunities there. She's consenting. She wants to do it. She has a vagina. Would any man with intelligence go there?
Yeah, if it with a rubber.
No, you crazy.
With a rubber. Listen, all the dummies that got messed up by Brittany Renner, they had a condom off. You know how many dudes that smoked her pipes?
I agree.
All of the smart ones had a condom, bro. It's the bro just coming in there and shooting the club up.
Brittany Renner's the type of woman that I believe she would put needles in.
We gotta stop. Listen, we gotta stop trying to shrink masculinity down to all this. Oh, you gotta be nimble and meticulous. No, you just gotta be smart with it, bro.
Okay, what's a red flag then, Darwin? For a woman that has a vagina, what's a red flag that a man?
Listen, I'm not arguing that she's not a red flag.
Hey, now that's because again, that's what I want to know now. Unless you're saying go out there, just wear a condom. I'm assuming guys with intelligence were like, nah, there's got to be a couple more steps than that. It can't just be because she looks good and she's interested.
Man, these dudes come on, Jeff. How old are you?
36.
And Dave,
I've been through enough to know.
and Stacy, how old are you?
50.
Exactly. And I'm 40. And we know that some joints, sometimes you want to take that thing off. that right there.
But all right, how about this? Let me put this out to y'all real quick. When I'm a little bit younger than y'all, so my lens of going into college with social media and going into high school with social media and seeing the much higher volume of what men could have access to prior to social media being what it became. There's women y'all have seen in music videos that I've gotten to know. And when I'm saying, don't do that. Don't do that.
See, unlike you, Jeff is not going to name names.
Nah.
I know who it was.
No, you don't.
Music?
No, you don't. No, you don't.
I can tell you the music. I'm gonna just tell you the music video that she was in. I'm still in love.
Oh no.
With you.
No.
You know
No, what I'm saying is the dudes, the rappers, and the athletes that can crash out over some of these chicks. I've got, learned and got to know some of these ladies back in the day. And what I'm suggesting is once you learn and know what they'll do and what they're capable of, there has to be a screener in your head beyond the fact that she looks good and she got a vagina, bro. Because my argument is if you don't know that, you're going to end up being like so many of the men who keep popping up that we keep covering. Not knowing that there's certain traits or red flags or things that women could be more likely to engage in this stuff. I think that's real shit. And being like, nah, you earned the right to run through them. You did, but if not being reckless only means wear protection, I promise you, bro. This is why they say.
Let me give you some game. Let me give you some game some game that I only use for consultations. And this is what y'all need to teach y'all daughters. If a man smoke your pipes with a condom is an indicator that you are of the lowest. If a man puts a rubber on you before he put in, that means you are a hoe. You are trash. That is the deciding factor. That is how you classify women. You go raw in a woman that you want to build a connection.
You know how many dudes don't do that and still go raw, bro?
I know they knuckleheads and they want to build a connection. You got a bunch of simps out here,
bro.
But I'm telling you, a real man
horrible.
You don't even got to call a woman a hoe. You just put a condom on. That's it.
I'm sorry, Darwin. You know what? When we do the show, I notice you don't really drink a whole lot. Is it because it burns when you pee? Because I don't know if you know. I don't know if you notice or not. There's a whole bunch of them out here. There's the HIV, there's the AIDS, there's the syphilis, the herpes, the gonorrhea. Bruh, these young boys need to strap up. And here's the thing: I love it.
Y'all are making my point.
No, that's not about the lowest to the low.
There's some truth. There's a significant amount of truth to what he's saying. I'm talking about a significant.
These
amount.
young dudes is going in raw. They don't think those women are hoes. They think they love these women. They're simping for these women, bro. That's the most simplest thing you can do is go raw in a woman that's you believe is for the streets.
I've had a woman tell me it was disrespectful. Putting the Jimmy on, she was like, she told me it was disrespectful.
Imagine, thank you, Stacy. Imagine if that's your wife. Imagine if you went to go see your woman, the one you love, and say, I want to wear a condom today. She gonna look at you and what?
Disrespectful. Disrespectful.
I mean, yeah,
you do that with hoes.
So just to clarify, to make sure I'm very clear, if the conversation is about Me Too, outside of wearing a condom, is there anything else that dudes could possibly do different?
I don't know. But if condoms was for the women you love, God would have created Adam with a pack of magnums.
Bruh,
but he said no.
That's the condoms is a secondary issue when it comes to, I think, the caliber of women that do.
King David and King Solomon ain't had no magnums, no nothing. They were turning women
6,000 years ago,
bro.
Even if it did, they wouldn't. Bro, they turning women into once I knock you down, you could pretty much either a wife or a concubine. I think polygamy, because we cycling through all these joints anyways, a small group of us.
Mm-hmm.
These women might as well get down with the what's it called, sister wives. They might as well, bro.
Have you proposed this to your wife, sir?
Don't try to expose me on here, bro.
I'm just asking. You talking real greasy because
hold on, Stacy.
I'm not going to let.
Hold on, Stacy. Stacy, I'm not going to let you allow Darwin to only say just wrap up and all is well. Please say that there's at least
That's my
one
big brother
or
right
two
there.
other factors that men need to be mindful of to at least decrease their chances of being falsely accused of something.
Me, myself, this is the 100% kill ratio with me. 100%.
Okay.
The caliber of women I'm interested in. I am only interested. Listen, her voice has to sound a certain way. She's got to be soft. The woman who just blocked me recently, right?
God.
Listen, she'll unblock me in about 3 months, right? But listen, she's this type. I believe if someone called her a bitch, she would cry, right? I'm into women who are only benefits. Like, listen, if I catch you wearing those long, ratchet, ghetto Freddy Krueger fingernails, if I see all of we're not on the same planet. I don't acknowledge you, right? And we're not going to lay in the bed or anything. The women who I have selected, the only women, there's only been one who was, and she's still a good woman. There's only been one who's like a little bit, rough around the edges. But I tell people this all the time, regardless as to what you guys see in my content, I have nothing but good things to say about the Black women I have dated, right? And it's because of my selection process. I'm not just laying down with anything that looks like I'll have fleas if I jump up, right? So I think a large portion of what we're dealing with is the men's fault. We don't have to be running around here like, listen, look at her. Tell me how you feel when you look at her. Tell me the vibes that you get when you look at her. And when you engage with her, what are you getting off of her? Does she say refrigerator, right? How does she talk? What's her background like? And that's how I get to know women. The women that I've dealt with, brother, it's been for years. It's because they are that valuable of people to where even if nothing's going on with us, it's worthy and it's beneficial to continue dealing with each other. So I think the selection process is first and foremost.
So a commenter, and thank you, Demetrius, for this. Do not deal with women that has nothing to lose.
Like Tiger Woods.
I think that you won't prevent it all completely, but you'll definitely reduce a lot of potential allegations and altercations and situations if the women that you're dealing with comes from something and has something to lose. They could be just as beautiful and as bad as the ratchet joint you found on the street for $70. But women that don't have anything to lose, that's one less hurdle for them to overcome.
That's a problem, Jeff.
Listen, I hear you. And again,
listen,
not what you're saying, what I'm saying, what everybody's
most of the women we mess with, bro, most of the women all of us mess with, ain't got shit to lose.
What you mean by that?
The likelihood of you running into a woman that got something to lose is very low. I would say 9 times out of 10, most of the women you desire,
dealing with, brother, because the quality is basically
most of the women
what I deal
you
with.
In Philly, right?
Yeah.
You in Philly?
I can tell the difference between women who got something to lose.
You in Philly? Is you in Philly? Okay, so
no, he's in Jersey. Okay, he's in Jersey. He's over the bridge.
That's even worse. You go out in Jersey, bro. Most of them motherfuckers ain't got nothing to lose, bro. They on their last $2.
Nah, what I'm saying is like, I'll say it this way.
Especially if you're talking about Black women.
When you grew up in the age as a teen with social media, you got a very, very, very early experience of like, oh shit, this shit is like unregulated. And your opportunities were endless. And as a young dude being exposed to that very, very, very early, this wasn't the normal like popular guy in the jock high school in the 60s who probably slept with like 20 of the girls. That's like May for some of these guys, right? So what I'm basically arguing, man, is like, I think not having discernment of recognizing that there is an actual difference between women who have something to lose and women who don't, and what's the quality of women. You're right. I'm not telling every dude who wants a situationship or some type of arrangement. Every woman got to be a wife. What I am saying is we're looking at things on the screen over and over and over, and we're just saying, with these guys being plastered up, losing endorsements, losing money, losing jobs, losing respect, losing family, wear a fucking condom. There's got to be there has to be a different tier to differentiate what caliber of women. Every single metric you can weigh in terms of how she looks and how good the sex is, you could find women in both categories. Women that ain't worth shit and ain't got nothing to lose, and women that do.
Jeff, let me tell you something about these women today.
You're not losing anything by being more intentional about this.
These women are very meticulous these days. Whenever we trying to use discernment, and I get it, some brothers are able to do it, but I'm telling you, bro, these women are on a whole nother level. White women finally got revealed on how they used to use methods to get ball players.
Yeah.
And these guys are oblivious, and they screaming she's a wife, but underneath, no, bro, it's a game. I'm telling y'all, this is a game. To stay on top, that's the number one way to protect yourself, is to protect your damn seed. And if you can record anything, record it. If you got to wear a wire, wear a wire. If you got a fro, put that motherfucker in your hair.
So instead of body cams, what you're suggesting basically is that all these men who are being promiscuous wear thotty cams.
Nah, wear Ray-Ban glasses.
Thotty cams is crazy.
Hey, but
there you go. Thotty cams.
I want to say something before we jump off of here.
Yes, sir.
This was one of my most humbling moments. When my nephew, when I was leaving, when people knew I was moving to California, the last week, everybody was making sure they spent time with me. I'm talking to my nephew, and I'm saying, and I think what I'm about to say, I think all of us really, really have to take this into a consideration when we host these shows, even when we're having conversations, so we'll know who we're talking to and about. I told my nephew, I said, I heard you trying to get in these streets, and that's not even you. You're not even that type of individual. I need you to get your mind somewhere where you can think about starting your own this or your own that. And he said this, and it changed my life. He said, I don't get those good ideas that everybody say you get. This stuff that we're talking about right here, listen, everybody on this panel right now is on here because the others view them as a respected mind. And that's huge, right? To be a respected mind, especially in today's society, to have it validated that there's numbers of people who view the things that you guys say as valuable, right? I think we have to start understanding that is not the average. Who we're talking to and what we're talking about, I believe there to be above average excelling men on this panel right now. I think sometimes we forget that. The people we're talking to and hoping that they start doing better, some of them are right down in that chat right now in the privacy of their own home eating a booger. I told my brother this. I said, listen, man, just because you don't see somebody foaming at the mouth, and that doesn't mean that people aren't thinking on lower levels. So this conversation that we're having, there's nothing that you can do to get a regular average ninja from the hood or something like that to see any value in it. Because what we hear even the women say, I don't like the way it feels with a condom. They're not thinking like us. Darwin was just up here talking about protect your seed. Okay, what about this ninja that's heard she got that fire? See, we're all on different levels, and I think we really, really must acknowledge that, because then you will find better ways to talk to the people who are doing us most harm. The people who are doing us most harm are people like the man who took Nipsey Hussle's life in broad daylight in front of a mass amount of witnesses. Now, us up here, we can't wrap our head around that. We're like, could you at least have did it to where you could get away with it or something like that? But everybody, I think there's way more people who is thinking on an average. They just released those documents. Do you see how our kids are reading in school right now?
It's horrible. Most of them aren't even reading at grade level. Absolutely.
And so there's men up here who are what I would call advanced men, advanced thinkers, right? Have philosophies that other people use as memes, right? You're speaking with the common sense that you have is nothing. It's when you're sitting on the toilet stool, you're coming up with philosophies in your head. Other people are going to say, that was groundbreaking. So I think we have to really take into consideration how to talk to people who are just, people who are reading at a regular level, people who are moving
Just say
at a regular
people
level.
who are at a lower level of intelligence. But I
don't
even
want to put. It's not intelligence. I think sorry, Stacey, I'm not trying to interrupt you, but I think it's a lack of exposure. I think it's a lack of discipleship. I think it is a lack of understanding what comes with all of this, that we don't understand that we're participating in a blood sport that everybody is profiting from, least of all men. And until we start having that conversation as to what it looks like, how it goes, and all that type of stuff, it's going to be a situation. And coming from the entertainment industry, I done seen enough, and I know enough to know now, especially a lot of things that I used to think was like appropriate and cool, I'm real good on now. Nah, because it's just not worth it. Like at the end of the day, I don't want those problems. And if that was ever a possibility, at this point, it's like, nah, because anything can be misconstrued. Like Stacy just said, like he was trying to encourage a woman who was basically number 2 in a Freddy Krueger costume contest, and all he said was, you are beautiful too. And then she had the unmitigated gall to act like he was harassing her. Look here, Crispy. I need you to calm that down.
Jesus.
Look here, you struck match. All I was trying to do was get you to the burn unit to see about your skin grafts, and this is the thanks I get.
Crazy word. Oh my God. And Stacey, I actually appreciate that. Because we are talking to different audiences. We are talking to different people in the audience, people who get it, people who really be like, I just know I got to wear a condom. And then there's dudes who I think have more to lose and are probably thinking and factoring that in with the types of caliber of women. I've been hearing from some sources that guys, once they reach certain points, they just have their rotation of women. They don't keep dipping back out in the pool and bringing in new women that they don't have a long extended history
But
with.
you know why that is, Jeff?
Why?
Respectfully, and I'm not trying to be funny on the platform, but I got to say it the way I got to say it.
Yeah.
We don't, and when I say we, men, generally speaking, don't have time to keep running people through the Build a Bitch workshop. Like you get the ones that you get, and you know how they operate. They understand your situation. Y'all can say whatever you want, but you know who ain't got no problems no more? Schaefer Smith. If you don't know who Schaefer Smith is, if I called him Neil, you would know what I'm talking about.
Oh,
he got his Fantastic Four, and he's out there having the time of his life. You know what I'm saying? Like you get who you need to get, and they all serve whatever purpose they need to serve, and you go about your business. That is smart, because you don't know what these new folks coming with. Yeah. From his, he got some
from all of his joints.
I don't know about the 4. I don't know 3, 4, whatever.
Oh, he got kids outside of them.
He got kids from his first wife, and I know he got kids from his second chick.
I don't know if he has kids from either.
But now, because he was doing so much smashing and dashing that he just got tired of cheating, so he just decided to become D. Ray Davis. Another one got a couple. My man.
What do y'all think about? What do y'all think about Nick Cannon and what's the other dude, Cam Newton? With the realization that, hey, look, I'm gonna leave my seed. I can afford to leave my seed and take care of my kids financially, but not necessarily prioritizing being in the house, but still being in a life. Because inevitably, in most of these cases with our women and the women we be with, the likelihood of the situation becoming you not being in the house anyways is high. So I'm not going to let that stop me from being able to spread my my genes or my seed abundantly to deliver my inheritance when I pass away. So what do you think about that? Because and not locking myself down on one woman. What do y'all think about that? Y'all think that's a game plan or no?
I'll say this. I think that's a rich man problem.
That's what I'm saying.
And I think 90% of men can't move the way those types of men move because they have a financial incentive that they can maintain indefinitely for multiple women to do that type of arrangement. Usually, when you have multiple baby mamas, it's not a seamless transition. Usually, there's drama. Usually, there's issues, especially if both kids are functionally low or young, and if you are or not in a relationship with them, they're constantly potentially at odds with each other. These guys probably have such a nice financial package where they learn how to act right and get along. And that's not going to be the case for most men. So I'm totally comfortable with guys financially not adding woman one, two, three, all y'all have my kids and we just gonna figure this out. The average dude can't probably maintain that. But I do agree with what Stacy kind of offered initially of this is our agreement, this is our arrangement, be up front with it from the beginning and literally just maintain that. If it leads to kids, okay. But like if you just got women that's fulfilling certain roles and needs, I think that's better than getting caught up in a situation.
So are you saying an average man can't afford to be polygamous?
Of course not. Of course
Why not?
Well, the starting point is because outside of just the fact that you want women in your vicinity, if many women are as hypergamous as they are, it's not unusual for them to have certain expectations.
So it's not a matter of you can't afford it. It's just a matter of the women you're dealing with don't want to cooperate.
It's a little bit of both, and I'll phrase why. So there's polygamous arrangements where all 3 or 4 parties are all working, all contributing,
exactly,
all putting it into the pot. When we say the average guy, if the average guy is having a difficult time getting access to one woman to take him seriously, I don't see the average guy. All that's going to happen is it's going to standardize what's already been happening. Where the women who won't settle down with a lot of guys that are average, this is why they keep going in and out of the dating market, the dating pool, because they keep messing around with the guys who have access to all these women. So my argument is like, even if we as a culture standardize this and said, let's do it, the average guys, they're still going to be the average guys. They're not going to be the average guys who's just not in polygamous situations.
Well, what you mean is the guys that are more sought after are actually going to be able to perform.
They're the first 2.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So that's going to
the ones with the money and the ones who have the status and clout that's already getting access to the women anyway,
or the ones who have the charisma.
Yeah.
So those guys will be able to pull in polygamy.
Yeah, those guys.
If the average earner, not the average guy, I think average guy and average earner can be 2 different things. The average earner probably was 50 grand, 55K.
Yeah.
And then a woman was it 45, 50K. That 4 people, or let's just say you got 3 wives. What's it around? It's around 200K, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's affordable, right? 200K for 4 people.
I know a lot of guys that view things that way. I don't know a lot of women that's signing up.
I think.
Well, see, and that's the problem because these, I ain't gonna say the word, but these motherfuckers are signing up for it anyways. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
You're signing up for the shit anyways.
Yeah.
I think black men are hypersexual, very, 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 very hypersexual, right? Even to the point you'll get black men who will switch religions if it means that they get access to more poontang, right? And here's the issue with that. If you're black and you live in America, you are in need of therapy. If you're black and you live in America, you have PTSD of some sort. When they would fly, when people would go to those missions, World War II, and, even to the extent of Desert Storm and things like that, when there is tough combat, people see things and experience things that humans aren't really supposed to see and experience. So when they bring them back, they give them medications. Black people have not been given medications for all that we endure. And my point in bringing that all up is this. Do you have any clue the bandwidth, the intellectual bandwidth? We call it being intellectual genius, the intellectual bandwidth and patience. Look at what we go through up here with one woman sometimes, just on an interview. The not being a Sister Shazara Ali said, and it's not even just her, said that the average black woman don't age past the age of 15, and we can see it in the behavior. So my point is this: imagine dealing with 3 of those We men ourselves are going through healing processes, making ourselves better men and things like this. And you gonna try to fix 3 other lives that need high level maintenancing and managing. I think it's easier fantasized about than it is doable.
Listen, I get it. You're saying that it's going to be really difficult to put that in a structure as a standardized way to live, because a lot of these women are intolerable and they are unable to cooperate. Right. But the problem with all is that's what's happening. Even though they're intolerable and they're dealing with the same man.
But you're not accountable to them psychologically, though. You go bust a female down or something like that, you can hit her with the infamous belt buckle jingle and be up out of there, right? But when you're obligated to them, you got to teach them things. Hey, babe, listen, woman don't sit like that. Woman sit like you're going to. Oftentimes, listen. Here's what I didn't know. I didn't know. I'm sitting in a chair.
Somebody said Darwin is a low key Pookie.
I think we take for granted. Like it took me understanding that. Why am I getting out of this chair after these shows and going over there and plopping down? Listen, you may think, okay, he's sitting down, but you're being exhausted psychologically. And it's the same way the more as raising your kids, even dumping this nutrients into this child. Hey, you protect your last name. You don't be out there in them streets acting a certain way. You a Smith, right? Dumping all of these teachings into multitude of different people, you're evaporating the reservoir. And I don't see how it can be replenished when you have to deal with 4 different personalities. I say 4 because you got 3 women, but you're still in the process of trying to become the best version of yourself.
I understand what you're saying. I had a friend of mine. He's got 3 different baby mamas, and he's in his early 50s now, and he's telling me that they still mess with each other. Like whenever he get the time, he's still smoking their pipes, all 3 of them. And I'm sitting there like, bruh, they got your kids. Why don't y'all all just be together? He said, you know what? I never thought about that.
Nah, I've suggested that.
He said the likelihood of them wanting to do it is because, not wanting to do it is because of, I don't know what it is about. I don't know what the name it with women, but I think they might be looked or frowned upon by their friends and their mothers and aunties. Well, you sharing him? What? Bitch, you sharing him anyways when y'all got... And you still let him smoke your pipes knowing he's smoking his other baby mama's pipes and the other one. And you still giving it up. Why don't y'all just be a community?
But
I don't get it.
Darwin, here's the caveat. What you're advocating for is exactly what I said all along. It's still the same 3 women. That's not 30 women. That's still his 3 women. And
that's what I'm saying. Those are your women. So why don't y'all just make it work?
So what I'm saying is whether it's 1 woman, 2, 3, or even 4, that's better than everybody's trying to be Tom Cruise. Everybody think they're gonna move like Brad Pitt and they're gonna come out unscathed. No, you're not. Right. No, you're not.
Well, they can try it, but they're gonna wake up to the reality.
Yeah, and that's my whole argument. That like what Stacy said, there are situations. I said it to my family member of mine. I told him, listen, brother, you got 2 baby moms. Like, why don't you just ask them? I'm saying you're not actually living with either of them. You're involved in both your kids' lives. You're running between 3 different households. Why don't you just throw it out there? First of all, you never know. And he said he's actually going to look into it and actually going to check in with both of them and see how they both feel. And that's probably better. He's trying to get established, settle down, get some things locked in and get super focused. Always dealing with a new woman and thinking that you're going to have the intelligence when you're horny, when you're tired, when you just need a body to fill the void. You can make some careless errors because all you got to do is you got to pick once wrong. Pick wrong one time. That's all it takes. That's all it takes, man.
And you know what I hate about the most thing I hate about this news I found out about the white women having a group chat and how to strategically go at the ball players.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate the fact that they had a strategy on how to be the cooperative and be picked. The thing that I hated is that they didn't invite the black women to the group chat.
Why would
Why,
they?
why are they going to invite in competition?
Why would they write their competition?
I mean, I get it.
And yo, darn, why would they tell black women about how to act to make them more attractive to their own men? Why would they say that?
But because here's the simple fact: even if you invited the black women in there, the black women still wouldn't fucking take heed to the advice. How many times have we been telling women how to do just what those white women were teaching each other? Like, turn your head sometimes. Shut up. Cooperate.
Remember the source.
Look good. Comb your hair. Brush your teeth. Wash your ass. Cook. Clean. We've been telling black women to do that and they haven't even listened. I know they're not going to listen, but at least they can see. At least, hold on. At least they can go into the group chat and look at it. Look at the white women walk across the aisle and be like, you know, they've been telling us this whole time in the chat, and you're seeing it right in your face on your phone. You being ignorant and not listening to the game that they running and being a cooperative mate.
I know for a fact they wouldn't listen to us because we're men, by and large, right? When it comes to women being nosy or looking in on other women's affairs and what's going on, I think they're always looking for a leg up. They're always looking for a new way to get access to something. So if they were to have found out and actually, like if one of them got accidentally added to the group chat and was able for a day to go through and see all this stuff, that's her red pill. That's her red pill moment. I wouldn't be shocked that a whole lot of women that were to be brought in on that, they might actually, they may gatekeep it. They may not run and tell the whole world and tell all the black women they know, but the first thing she's going to do is probably figure out where these men are landing. Every game, what's the hotels they stay at? Let me be there too. Let me see how the Beckys are dressing. Let me see how they're moving. I absolutely think that when women find out, why do you think the Shira 7 is so popular? Because they always want a leg up on how can they get access to certain types of men and take advantage of situations.
Is that the sprinkle lady?
Yeah, we're always looking for that. They're always looking for opportunity. Now, if Akeisha gonna get up in there and blow it up and then make a huge hoopla out of it and expose the whole group, that'll happen too. But there's a whole lot of women, man, that are constantly looking for a leg up.
Shira 7 been trying to tell black women to shut the hell up and get the bag for the longest. But black women, she's cussing black women out. Y'all want to come in there and be leaders. Y'all stupid. Just sit down and listen and spend his money.
That's right. Listen to that trout mouth bass.
We've been trying to tell black women to do that the long.
Again, it's us. It's men saying it. I keep trying to tell you, brother.
But the thing is, you can give a black woman a credit card and the house, and she's still gonna want to fucking be a leader. And that's what Sheriff 7 said. Y'all are fucking the whole game up for the gold diggers. Gold diggers can't be gold diggers because y'all want to be a fucking leader now.
They don't know their roles. They don't know their lanes.
You can always tell. Like when you look in the chat, there's these chicks in here talking about, oh, y'all hate black women. I'm sorry, I'm married to a black woman. Darren's married to a black woman.
Yeah.
Jeff, ain't you married to a black woman?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
now he is, right? No, it's just messing with you.
Did he just call you Russell Wilson of the therapist world?
Hey, listen, I'm not ashamed of my game, brother. My passport been stamped a long time. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna leave it at that. Continue, Dave.
All I'm saying is at some point, this whole you hate your mama, you don't like your mama, you probably with a white woman. Maybe you just suck as a woman. Maybe. Respectfully, maybe you're the slack-jawed North American big back that only knows how to pull up the steak 48 and doesn't know how to do a pull-up in the gym. Maybe it's your mouth that is the problem. Maybe the reason that you don't have a man but have a couple of baby daddies is because you are only good for the P&D. I'm sorry, the pump and dump. So don't come over here shooting at black men who actually love black women instead of talking about what you might want to do in order to get yourself in a better position, except for the one on your knees.
Dave, you know what's wild? Over the course of the show, we've recommended condoms.
Mm-hmm.
We've recommended reevaluating, limiting the pool of women that we're going to keep in our respective circles. We've even recommended reevaluating how we may have to start to differentiate the women that we are going to give access to our resources, our actual bodies and our livelihood versus the women that don't. We covered all of that. We doing jokes and everything. It's wild how people listen only to this stuff through emotion, man.
See, you're such a nice clinician. It's not the people, it's the women in here that can't keep a man, that have never had anybody sit up there. They're a bunch of little golems. They're golems with breasts. I want the breast. The reason they'll never get the ring is because they don't know how to put themselves in position. And you can say whatever you want, right? And I love making fun of slack-jawed North American big backs. But the truth of the matter is, if you watch any season of My 600-Pound Life, you know what they all have in common? A doting man. So maybe, just maybe, your problem in relationships has to do with what's in the mirror.
Yeah. I'm looking at one of them now. Miss Ali to you. I'm gonna be as nice as I possibly can to you, man.
You be as nice, and then you let me know when it's my turn. Please go ahead.
No.
Go ahead, Jeff.
I'm gonna help you.
Be
I'm
nice.
gonna help every woman that's currently watching this is gonna watch this in the future. We're gonna let y'all know in a little cheat code. You see this on the screen? I'm talking about the picture. I'm not talking about none of that. I'm talking about women who just like to argue. For guys that are still in savage mode, all you is just another body. That's it. We don't need to know your name. We don't need to know about your mama. We don't need to know your background. You're just a number of many numbers that we will eventually forget.
Damn.
But when it comes to guys like myself,
What a tombstone sound effect.
when it comes to guys like myself, you would be disqualified from breathing my air. I don't actually do real life with women that like to argue with men. I actually don't. I don't deal with that in my actual family.
You forgot one thing, Jeff.
So just to clarify,
If you look at the picture of this woman,
I wasn't trying to say
there's a recent study. There's a recent study that came out.
Yeah.
Come on, talk about
women
it.
with jawlines like hers are more likely to cause chaos on and offline.
Bro, what I mean when I say this respectfully, there's a mode of men that are starting to go back to old school masculinity that's starting to realize that arguing with women is pointless.
Yeah.
Especially women who aren't our women.
Yeah.
When I say our women, I don't mean just ones we married to. I'm talking about the ones who don't value or see the benefits of male leadership. You're not my women. You're not our women. So I don't even the idea of going back and forth with you, you're disqualified. I don't have to talk about your aesthetics. I can just listen to and read how you think.
Listen.
And know that I don't need to acknowledge you in any way other than this moment. So, just putting that out there that you're already disqualified, and most men that think like me would never even acknowledge you, if we're going to be honest.
You people are not saying the right things. And Stacy's not going to say it, but I'll say, put her back up.
I got to find her joint again.
No, what we going to do? No, we're going to have this conversation because I need to make the point, and I need
her name.
I don't remember. Look under Sasquatch. But while you're doing it,
Slack-jawed North American what?
Slack-jawed North American big back. So let me put this very simply. I know it's going to take you a while to find her, so I'll just say this respectfully. Respectfully, if your boobs are like hacky sacks, and you're trying to figure out in between, kicking them with your knees like Pele, why you don't have a husband, maybe, just maybe, no one's told you this. And the gentlemen on this dais are very, very kind, and they're not going to say the thing that I'm going to say. But again, you can't do to me what you can do to the average bear. So I'm going to say this very nicely. High value men do not, by and large, desire high calorie women. You're welcome.
Let me see if I find her as a comment. What was it? Miss Ali. I'm gonna keep that. Stacy, why don't you
Stacy, man, what you got, man? Stacy been over there stoic like a mother.
He about to unleash on y'all.
Hey, listen, don't let Stacy do this right here. It's over, man.
Facts. Every time.
Listen,
every time I see one of them video do that, I'll just be waiting on them to do this shit right here. I'm like, oh yeah, let me stick around for a minute.
No, what's crazy about what Jeff was saying, like I say that often on the show. Like, I actually got kicked off of TikTok yesterday for saying it. Like, I want to say this to the women. I promise you, any man who is confident, who is respected by their peers, who other women give them a good grading score, things like that. Any man, I call them quality men is what I call them, right? Any man like that, when we see unruly women, I promise you this, when we see women, even down in the comments, and they can't keep control over themselves, they're wishing death upon men for just speaking, you're calling names and things like that. Listen to me. We know for a fact what takes place in your sex life. We know that men often touch on you and then immediately hit you with the infamous belt buckle jingle. They're out of there the moment they release. Listen,
the belt buckle jingle.
I'm telling you,
jiggle.
The moment that man releases, that's the first thing that woman hears.
Doing the sound effects.
Hey, listen. And listen, I tell women this. I tell women this intentionally to let you know that your behavior is why you're where we know you are. We know that men aren't, after they release, we know men aren't putting their arm behind the back of your neck and kissing you on your cheek and saying, hey, I'm about to order us something to eat, babe. Or
he's saying get off.
It's time to go.
Breathe.
And the reason is the same way that you can't control yourself in comments and things like that, you can best believe the men you're dealing with, just in going to the kitchen, just here, just there, you're demonstrating certain of those same behaviors that's turning men off on this panel. But in real life, it costs more consequences than up on this panel.
Yo, that's actually why there's female content creators who I won't work with anymore, or I won't work with, period. Because it's like, if you can't control yourself on platforms, you can't control yourself in the comment section, and you can't, that means you can't follow directions. That means you can't receive feedback. I just see you as a liability. So it's almost, like when we were criticizing and critiquing Meg Thee Stallion and Cardi B, it's only the other 304s and women that move like escorts and prostitutes that was yelling and screaming and hollering. The women who ain't 304s, they don't care about us critiquing it.
Right.
So when we're talking about Me Too and pointing out things that men need to do to differentiate the types of women that they need to potentially stay away from, and y'all getting offended, you're probably the woman, you're probably that type. You're probably that type. So yeah, man, I thought this was dope, very interesting. I'm glad all of you guys share some interesting, thought-provoking things. I know we're going to wrap things up, and I'm going to make sure everybody gets the chance to share where everybody can find and follow and support them. But there's one last piece. I just want to share this real quick, and a Media Man kind of covered this incredibly.
Women have no equity with black men on social media. None. Black women spend years, spend months, spend hours talking foolery about black men all day, every day on social media, especially TikTok. Because if you ask black women, how do you think black men perceive y'all based off the way that you talk about black men on social media? They will tell you straight up, we hate black men.
Fucking with y'all before the election, we're still not effing with y'all after the election.
Matter of fact, where was y'all when every quarter a black woman goes viral for disparaging black men and how they want to date white men?
I definitely fall into the stereotype of the undesirable black woman. However, none of that stops me from dating and choosing very consciously to not and never again date black men.
Black men, y'all need to do better. Y'all really need to do better. There is no reason why I should have a white man of 6'2", 220, white collar, blue jeans and white sneakers wearing white man sit right in my face, look me dead in my eyes, didn't blink or stutter not nail one time, and tell me that he cannot understand for the life of him how a black man who looks homeless has the audacity.
I didn't feel like listening to the rest of her speech, but Media Man puts out something in terms of with these ongoing conversations, man, where men are automatically being assumed to be guilty, believe all women nonsense. I think we're watching in real time, women across America are losing equity every year when these type of cases happen. when outlandish accusations happen, when proof is showing that, oh shit, maybe, perhaps a lot of these women have other motives for why they're doing this. I think we're at a spot where we're starting to recognize now we're moving back to pre-feminism when women weren't always being believed. What do you guys think in terms of what Media Man said about Black women especially are losing equity in the community in terms of being taken seriously, being, just the sheer nature of this conversation? What did y'all think about what he had to say? We'll do Darren real quick, Dave, and then Stacy to close us out.
Let's go with Dave, and then let's go with me, then go with
Stacy. Go ahead, Dave.
Here's the thing: there's always going to be somebody that is going to push this narrative, because what's happening is, I'll put it to you this way: when I was a club promoter, the one thing that I always noticed, and my godparents got me in the club promotion business, and I said, why is it there's couches in the women's bathroom, but there's no couches in the men's bathroom? And my godmother says to me, well, David, the reason that is because women go to bathrooms in groups. They do everything in groups. If you go to a department store, if you notice, the dressing rooms are usually larger for women because they're doing everything communally. They do everything by committee, do absolutely everything together. So that when they get on social media, for example, they start talking real greasy because they have an echo chamber that's going, yeah, girl, go on, this, that, and the third. Yet and still, everybody they follow, whether it is a Beyonce, whether it was Cardi B to a certain extent, no longer, but, oh, I don't do this, I don't do that, but I got that. Yeah, you talking all that, but then Offset puts you on camera cooking and cleaning. You're losing status in the community because, one, you're throwing us under the bus. Number two, you're being 100% cooperative with white men who just fetishize you. And then number three, you continue to think that the best thing that you can do is disrespect us in the public square and then expect us to just be happy about that. And finally, this whole stepdaddy draft that y'all have after you've been Afghanistan from your lower extremities, meaning bombed out, depleted, and left for dead. It's not happening no more. It's not happening no more, because not just because of the passport bros, but because brothers are starting to realize that, yeah, you know what? It is cool to be a late bloomer. It's cool to go out here and get the bag. It's cool to be a Mike Jones disciple. Back then they didn't want me. Now I'm hot. They all on me, because then you have the pick of the litter because you have resources. And it's amazing how soft and how cooperative and how unmasculine you get with a man that has resources, that has several options. The softer the voice, the louder the wallet, and the thicker the portfolio the man 9 times has. And that's just what it comes down with. So if you want to continue to go down this division that society, mainstream media, which Black people do not control, is continuing to perpetuate at your expense, you are going to find yourself, as the late great KS once famously said, with a dog and alone. So get after it. And again, if you want to stay high calorie because you want to believe that your body is beautiful just the way it is, cool. That was cool for Lizzo until she started losing weight. It was cool for me until I started losing weight. At some point, you got to get over that. Oh, no, because here's the thing. You still listen to your fat grandmama tell you, respectfully, that nobody judges a book by its cover, but every publishing house has an art department. And you know what they do in that art department? They make covers that are going to help the book fly off the shelf, because no man in the history of ever, including myself, said, damn, look at the morals on that girl. I'm Dave Anderson from Dave Anderson Morning News. You can find me on all platforms at The Business Bully. And I yield. All right, Darwin, what about you? What's your final views?
I'm going to plug myself. Well, I'm going to give myself a plug first.
Okay.
I'm Dar.
Pause.
I'm Dar McPherson. Pause.
Hey, oh, shit. Oh, my God.
I'm not going to let that one slide. Nah.
Okay.
Yo, but
give myself a
had a bunch of saboteurs on the panel tonight. Some wild boys, man. Bro. Stacy and Darwin, man, y'all been saying some crazy stuff tonight.
No, come on, man. So look, pause. You can find me on You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. It took me off of goddamn YouTube. I'll be back on there. It's slow progress. But yeah, same name, Darwin McPherson. Appreciate the follow. But I will say about this is the equity thing. These women boasting about how they would not dating black men no more, and they want to go to social media and broadcast it. All they doing is telling us that they still want us. They just telling us they still want black men. They throwing it in our face. They with what, man? They still have some concern. We're still in their brain. No pun intended. But we're still in their mind. They feel that they got to go validate themselves of being not with a black man by stating that they're not with a black man. Why you can't just say you with a man?
Bro, you know what's wild with that real quick? I don't envision like people in China are like worried about like, oh, I'm not able to date a black man. We're probably not even on their radar, right? They're not thinking about it. It's not a thing. But the crash outs in the chats, man, it's amazing to me because it's like if you really hate the men on the screen, if we really are relevant, why give the views? People who if you're not covering it as a commentator, what you doing this for? Because we're relevant. Because we're talking about behaviors that a lot of y'all probably lived. And that's the wild part about it. A lot of y'all Me Too risk. A lot of y'all just Me Too risk at this point. If brothers wise up, man, a lot of y'all gonna be left out there looking like stragglers. Continue, Darryl, my bad.
No, man, no, you good. You took it at the right time. Pause.
Oh my God.
Who is you? We're gonna start giving you fines, bro.
I said pause. If I didn't say pause,
this is crazy
then
word. Stacy, bring us back to reality, man. Close us out. Let everybody know what your thoughts are and where they can find and support you. And we appreciate you coming.
Break with Dave, bro. He ain't letting nothing get past him.
Hey, now I think you guys can rock in. Y'all got me scared to say anything.
No, you're a guest. This is just what we do to Darwin.
Hey, you guys can rock with me. You guys can rock with us on Stacy Prince, the real Stacy Prince, on YouTube and all the other platforms. I think what we're talking about as far as the repercussions and things like that, I think the complaints that women have are very valid, 100% valid. I think all of the things that we hear them saying about how bad men are, I think that it is 100% valid. I don't think that they're stretching the truth in the least. Everything that we told these women years ago, make sure that you don't have multiple children by multiple men. You want to go into relationships looking for marriage. You don't want to get slutted out. Everything that we told them, they did the exact opposite. They have multiple children with multiple men. And there's only a certain type of man who will deal with a woman who has scarred her dating resume up to that capacity. And that's all that they have access to is those lower functioning men. So all of these complaints we're hearing, they're valid. These people are dealing with people who potentially on the side eat boogers, like legitimate. They have the lowest of the lowest functioning of men, have no ideas, they're not thinking about anything. Their competency level does not reach that of being able to get a successful career or trade or something like that. They are left due to the dating damage that they have done with themselves. They have been reduced to only being able to attract the attention from the caliber of men that the rest of the decent women in society who qualify for good men overlooked. So you have people who have been reduced due to their behavior, due to you weigh 220 pounds, due to you have a smart mouth, due to you have a high body count, due to you have 2 or 3 children by 2 or 3 different men. They have been banished away from the realm of good pickings. And so when we hear a lot of these, listen, a lot of that anger that we hear is justified. These people are dealing with things that you can only see in horror movies, right? But it goes back to we've been telling you for the longest how to conduct yourself to get the best results. And now what a lot of these women are unfortunately living inside of is the repercussions of bad decisions from their past. I yield.
Yeah, man. I appreciate every one of you guys' viewpoints tonight. We were hitting on different things. We of course we had our disagreements, and we're all looking at it from different angles, you know. And each guy is going to have to reevaluate. Again, like I said before, I strongly think that the days of just seeing that she has a vagina, I don't know if that's worth it at this point. I think guys got to raise the standard a little bit above that, at least to a level to where there's a little bit more understanding and trust as to what he's getting, what she's offering, and if it makes sense and if it's documented or if it's recordable. Darwin, a lot of what you said tonight in terms of like the body cams and putting up cameras and everything, I think that makes a hell of a lot of sense. It protects both parties. I think as far as the fellas, like I said before, man, we just got to start to differentiate. There's women that could be a good time and could probably still be low risk. And then there's women that could be a good time and can probably cost you everything. And I think having a rubber and not having a rubber, we as men have to have a little bit more discipline in this area, because we're now in the era post Me Too happening, not pre. So like the idea of men not losing careers, losing family, losing respect, and potentially losing their freedom when they get a little careless in this area. I hope guys figure out what's the lane that's going to make it work for them on an individual level, whether it's you and one woman, you and other women. The main thing is if all parties are consenting, if this stuff is documented, and if you're protecting yourself in the various ways in which you can kind of protect yourself, I think that's the best we can do. And we hope that, you know, despite the humor and the tough, very controversial conversation, we hope that a lot of you guys that watched this tonight and the angry ass women got something out of it, whether it's a newfound hate for us or a newfound understanding that men are allowed to talk and engage in these types of conversations. Yeah.
Okay. Blame me. I said what I said. Don't know high value man want a high calorie woman.
Man.
Even the Bible says it's better to live in the roof of your house than be in a house with a quarrelsome woman. We don't want nobody that's going to be sitting up there going back and forth out round in circles and out of our way. Like, for what? I stand by what I said. What I said. If you don't like it, tell your husband to comment. Oh, what? You don't have one. Thank you.
Woo. And that's the other. And real quick, I meant to mention this because I've noticed this pattern for a long time. Women that are in good and healthy and happy relationships are almost never arguing on social media.
1000%.
It's not about whether she's single or not. Because there's plenty of women that's in relationships and love arguing with other men. I wish I were to find out that my wife was arguing with another man and needed that much emotional stimulation outside of our home. I'd be very interested of why it is that she would feel to the degree that she needs to even engage to that degree with a man who doesn't matter. So maybe, ladies, you're kind of telling on yourselves when you're constantly crashing out in the DMs and in the chats and on our comment sections.
If they got a jawline like Marvin Sapp, I already know.
Ladies, if you're doing that, you're usually telling on yourself, because the ladies that are at peace, the ladies that understand men, the ladies that are doing life well with men, they're almost never crashing out in the comments about any of this type of stuff. It's usually you all that don't have those things. So just kind of keep that in mind. So thank you to everyone who gave from the super chats. Just reviewing real quick. Thank you, Damien, for the 10 or for 5. Thank you, Rogue Pill, for the $4.99. Appreciate everybody that watched and tuned in tonight to support the men's table. Stacy, man, we definitely got to have you come through for some more episodes, because half the comments is like, y'all got to have Stacy back here. So we definitely, the invitation is open. You don't have to wait for one. When you're available, just let us know. And we definitely gonna make sure that you get to pull up through. And we definitely gonna be pulling up on your platform pretty soon as well, whenever you're ready for us, man. So everybody, make sure that you follow these gentlemen, subscribe, follow, become a member of our respective platforms and channels if you want to continue watching and engaging in this type of work. Everybody have a good evening, and we'll see y'all on the other side.
Salute to you, brothers.
Peace.
All right, bro.